I'm getting the UIs up and running right now, but welcome back to the stream. Day 84 of Vibe Coding an App until I make $1 million. We have just made tremendous amounts of progress. Specifically, I would say in the past 10 days has been probably the biggest breakthroughs that we've had on stream with ViewCreator and with BridgeMind and with the mission and everything that we're doing. Everything is just going absolutely crazy. So I appreciate all the support because, guys, remember, we are just getting started. And something that I want to talk about, as you can see here up on the board, the concept that I've written up on the board today is x squared. And if you guys have taken algebra or pre-algebra, you'll know that what does x squared look like, right? What does that graph look like? And the reason that I wrote it up today is because something that I believe in is when you are showing up every single day and when you are putting the time in and when you are making the sacrifice and when you are working as hard as you can, this is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with an x squared situation. So if you are putting in, let's say, 75% effort, maybe taking weekends off, you're gonna have, a linear graph. If you show up for, let's say, a year, right? It's gonna be linear, you're gonna make progress, but I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in x squared. And in order to get to x squared, which is a graph that ends up looking like this, you have to show up every day. And you have to work as hard as you can. You have to take as minimal days off as possible. And if you guys were tuned into the stream this weekend, you'll know that we made just tremendous amounts of progress this weekend. So with that being said, guys, today is actually going to be a very, very special day because we have a very particular project that we're going to be working on today. I'm about to write the goal up on the board, but we only have one goal for today's stream. And I'm about to write it up, but let me do a couple things on my end to actually get the stream started. I haven't pulled up the chat yet, so let me say what's up to everybody that's here. I'm about to drop the link into the Discord. But guys, we have a really, really exciting day planned because we're about to be working on a very particular sprint, and you guys are going to see all of it happen today. J35, what's up? Hubertus, what's up? Mares, what's up? Thanks, guys, for tuning in. XLI, what's up? Mate Jr., how's it going? So let me drop this in to the Discord real quick. If you haven't already joined the Discord or subscribed, make sure you do so. But let me pull up the Discord. I'm going to let everybody know that we're live. And we're going to get started. So what are we doing today? Today's going to be a little bit different, okay? Web Dev Cody, how's it going? So today we are going to be working on something very, very critical. So as you guys know, if you've missed out on a couple streams, just to update everyone, so we have made significant amounts of progress and we have been approved for Meta, which means that we're approved for production for our goal of launching ViewCreator 2.0 for Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram. And then we're also approved for X and we're approved for YouTube, okay? So I haven't yet pushed the Meta into production. I'm gonna do that later on today. I did check TikTok. We are still waiting on verification from TikTok. We haven't been rejected. They just haven't come back to us. So we're still waiting on that. And NS, how's it going? What did NS got NS got blocked. But welcome in, guys. Let me get NidX, what's up? Pratt MK, what's up? Droid Tech, what's up? Yeah, we're gonna be grinding today, and guys, we're actually going to be starting a new, it's not a new project, it's a microservice. So let me get the poll started, I'm gonna write up on the board now what we're actually working on because this is gonna be a pretty action-packed day because we have one singular goal for today's stream. Okay, we have one goal. It's the only goal of today's stream. Okay. What is it? Today we are going to be building an AI clipping microservice, and that is the sole goal of this stream. We're going to be doing multiple streams today. We're probably going to have a marketing stream. We're probably going to have a vibe coding, no talking stream later tonight. But for this day 84 stream, it is critical that we build an AI clipping microservice, okay? And I'll tell you why right now. Number one, AI clipping is now what I would refer to as commoditized. AI clipping is a must. If you want to succeed in marketing in 2025, soon to be 2026, you need to have an AI clipping agent inside of your application, okay? And there is huge demand in the market for AI clipping, and a ton of different people offer it, okay? And there's a point that I'm gonna make with this. It can't be that hard to build, okay? So in this stream, it's probably gonna be about a 4 to 5 hour long stream, depending on how far we can get. But we are going to need to build an AI clipping microservice and then hook it up to ViewCreator, okay? So we're starting from scratch, and in the next couple hours, I'm actually gonna be learning how we're gonna build this. So let's take the desk down. Chat, how's it going? NS, no more caps. Yeah, I don't think you can use caps in chat anymore. There's the feds in chat. Nightbot, look out, guys. NitX2 asked, can I ask on what platform are you deploying this? AWS. Droid Tech said, damn, this is gonna be a cool stream. Yeah, we're gonna do a ton today. So I'm not even really gonna be focused on like the Nest.js ViewCreator API, and I'll tell you guys this. So when you're setting up architecture, okay, there's a couple things that you need to focus on. And one thing that we're going to be focusing on is we need to make sure that we don't jumble up our existing architecture, okay? And when you're talking about building an AI clipping agent, okay, and this is a conversation I had earlier with ChatGPT as I was working this morning, we're going to be having to probably use Fast API. And that's because Fast API is a Python-based API framework, and I've never used it. So that means that today I'm going to have to quickly learn how to actually use Fast API. And guys, this is what makes vibe coding so powerful, is that if you're good at it, you're not going to be good just at one framework or just at one programming language. You're going to be able to take what you learned from vibe coding and bring it to any stack. Sam Stone, what's up? Jesse, how's it going? Welcome. Yusuf said you should focus especially on TikTok if you're doing marketing streams, because the TikTok creativity program pays really well. I have made a TikTok account and I'm almost qualified for it. Yeah, we've got TikTok almost ready here. Rave TV said, are you always using Cursor? What about anti-gravity? Anti-gravity is just like a beta. It's just in beta. I'm not going to use a beta product. So the first thing that I want to do is I just want to have a conversation, and we're literally, what you guys are going to see in this stream is you're going to see me go from learning how to use Fast API, probably I want to understand what I'm actually doing, and that's like a critical part of vibe coding is, hey, you got to understand what you're doing, right? So we're going to spend about maybe 30 minutes actually understanding the Fast API framework, and then we're going to actually start to build out this project. And what we're going to try and do is we are going to try to rework and kind of work backwards from like OpusClip, okay? So we're gonna kind of see what OpusClip is doing, because that's who I use, and I don't want to spend any more money on OpusClip, all right? We're gonna build this. So what we want to do is, so would you like me to create a starter template showing the Fast API? So the first thing that I always get started off with is show me the project file structure for this. Because ultimately what we want to do is we want to have Fast API plus YTDLP plus ECS architecture, okay? Because ECS architecture is very, very maintainable and easy to scale, okay? So here's what we're dealing with. So here is Fast API. So you have an app. So you have a main.py, which is your Fast API initialization and CLI entry point. Then you have routers. So this is where you define routers for clipping. So API routes for clipping is going to be in eclipse.py. Schemas. So by dynamic mode. Okay, one thing that we do need to do is note that I use type ORM and already have a Postgres database that I want to continue to use. And I already... So I'm just kind of letting it know my existing architecture. I already have an S3 bucket that I want to use for this. Okay. Linux, how's it going? Yeah, the channel's growing really fast. Everything's growing really fast. So appreciate the support, guys. Gorana asked, what is the best AI you use in your opinion? So, I mean, I share my opinion on this regularly, but my thoughts are, hey, there's different models for different use cases. In terms of the best vibe coding tool, I do believe that Cursor is the best, in my opinion, for a vibe coding tool. In terms of, oh shoot, looks like the camera's frozen. FBI cam's frozen today, guys. OpenCV library too. Yeah, so this is going to be a really, really interesting stream, guys, because this is going to be challenging. Like, just so you guys know, this is not like, this is going to be a challenge, but we're going to see how far we can make in like about 4 to 5 hours, okay? Sushi asked, what MCP servers do you use? Do you think Context 7 covers most of the documentations, or do you prefer using another one? Yeah, I mean, MCP servers are a little bit overhyped in my opinion. I don't use a ton of MCP servers. I use, like, for example, Sentry and PostHog MCPs are nice because then you can just integrate directly and tell the AI to, hey, go look at my account and, tell me what errors we're running into. But let's see here, guys. I need to kind of lock in because we're going to learn this. So models, ORM classes for Postgres. Okay. So we can set up the ORM classes for Postgres in a models directory here. So models, okay, SQL model, ORM models. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Can you write a handoff prompt to Cursor so that we can continue this discussion in Cursor? Don't give it any instructions, but just explain to it what we've been talking about in this conversation and what our ideas are for building this clipping agent. Sam Stone said, I know it's recommending SQL Alchemy, but for a small project, I would recommend Peewee, much more simple, faster, and supports async. Yeah, I didn't even actually like that for the models, because the issue that we're having is that, here's what our structure is going to look like, okay? So we have, we have Next.js front end, right? Which is like, this is almost like inconsequential, right? This is just a UI. Not too worried about that, right? But where things get a little bit trickier is when you start building microservices where, let's say we have a base service. So we have a base service, and then let's say we have now a clipping service. And the reason that we're gonna have to separate this into a microservice is because for clipping, for a YT-DLP project, a YT-DLP is Python, okay? It uses Python. So I don't wanna shove all that in our existing, because this base service is our Nest API, okay? This is the Nest API. So this is Nest. And then for this, I don't want to shove all this functionality into that main API because that could cause some issues, okay? And I just am a little bit weary of that. I've worked on teams where we had, 10 different microservices and that was a mess. So I don't want to do that, but we are going to have to separate this because this clipping service is going to be pretty... it's going to cost a lot, if you get what I mean. Just like in terms of CPU utilization, because it's going to have a bunch of background jobs. So we want our own microservice for this that we set up. But the problem is that this is going to be Fast API. This can be Fast API, and then I would like it to connect to the same Postgres database, right? So I don't want to make it super, super complex. So that's kind of the architecture that I would like to have that makes the most sense to me. Oh, James Shelley. Okay, shout out to James Shelley in the chat. So James Shelley said, you also don't really need every one of your services to read and write from your database. Your Python service could be authorized to call your main API, which can read and write from your database. So that's actually a really good idea. Winky over on Twitch, what's up? Winky, thanks for watching on Twitch. Appreciate you. Grana, I'll get into that later in the stream, right? You'll kind of learn as we go on once I start getting into stuff. So So that is interesting. James Shelley has a good point. He said, yeah, I mean, I'll repeat it because maybe we do need to think about that. He said, you also don't really need every one of your services to read and write from your database. Your Python service could be authorized to call your main API, which can read and write from your database. Yeah. So, Kai's Washir over on Twitch. What's up? How's it going? Welcome. You know, let's just, I mean, so what he's saying is instead of this having a connection to the database, you know, we could call, Next.js will have a service that calls the fast API, but then the fast API could do the processing over here and then interact with Nest, which then does the reads and the writes to the database, which could be a pretty good option because then we don't have to have, you know, two services. I mean, I don't think that there's necessarily anything wrong with having the fast API connect directly to the database. Or, you know, we could also do, instead of having this connect from Nest here, we could go through the base service, and we could have this connect, and then so these talk to each other. So Nest, so the API route will stay in Nest, the logic will stay in Nest, but then Nest will kind of pass it off to the fast API. What do you guys think about that? It's what Sam Stone. It's YTDLP. William, yeah, I've been a software engineer for about 3 years. Seriously. J35 said maybe deploy clipping service in a separate directory when a request for clipping is made on main directory, a request from clipping directory like that. Yeah, but we're gonna want to use fast API. We're gonna want to use fast API for this because if we put too much, I think this, you know, for example, hey, we're not gonna want to put this inside of Nest. I don't want, just for scalability, that could cause issues. You know, I don't want to have to like shove, that way it's never exposed. That's how I do Nest to fast API. Yeah. So I think that could potentially be the best option, is that instead of, so big shout out to Sam, big shout out to where's that check out? James Shelley. Nit said, I do not think that's a good idea. I think either the service should have its own database per service, or else it would have to independently connect to the resources. I mean, let's talk to Cursor about it. Cursor knows our project. So I did do a handoff prompt here. We're probably going to spend the first like 30 to 45 minutes of the stream today just figuring out what we're going to be doing here. Okay, so here's our handoff prompt from Perplexity to Cursor. I'm just going to use Composer. Composer 1 is free right now, by the way, guys. They're promoting it. I don't know if anybody knew that, but Composer 1 is free. So I'm going to pass in the ViewCreator API and the ViewCreator Creator UI. And then I'm just going to ask FFmpeg, you use it with YTDLP. So I use FFmpeg, but the issue is the benefit that you have with YTDLP is that you can actually fetch, the videos from like YouTube and stuff. Oh, Sam Stone said confirm with ChatGPT, but it's telling me YTDLP isn't async supportive. Well, we'll just use YTDLP to be able to get videos and stuff. I don't know. Let's review this. I know that I want to build this clipping agent, but I am not sure whether I should set up a fast API that the ViewCreator Creator UI will connect to, or if we should set up, you know, the fast API for ViewCreator API to talk to, where the fast API doesn't actually connect to the database, but it is used in connection with the ViewCreator API in order to have the ViewCreator API hand off tasks to the fast API to process the jobs. I need you to do an in-depth review of the current architecture of the project and advise what we should actually do here. I'm not entirely sure. No, so Ian, this is not a new project. This is the same. This is ViewCreator, but what we're doing today is while we're waiting for verification, you know, we have so much working now. We're going to be working on marketing later, and I want to kind of, you know, start moving towards building this AI clipping agent, because AI clipping is so critical in today's world that if you don't have it, you are missing out on a lot. Like, if I don't want to have to go be using OpusClip all the time for clipping, like I want to use ViewCreator natively. So I want to look at this. I think it's important. Oh, Lambda. Yeah, I don't really want to use Lambda. All right, so I created a detailed architecture. All right, so let's see if we can. Okay, so the Fast API will act as a processor. It'll connect to S3. Because guys, this is kind of what I'm thinking with this here. You know, we go through the base service and we create controllers in our existing Nest project, right? But then instead of actually handling the processing of the clipping inside of Nest, we're actually going to offload this to the Fast API to do the work. Fast API can maybe, you know, do the S3 bucket upload, S3, let's say, and then so that's able to process it. And then instead of this having the connection to Postgres, we don't want that. We want to keep all of our authentication here. So this Fast API can do the processing, and then it can pass back whatever it came back with. Like, let's say it posted a bunch of stuff to S3, we can have it pass it back to Nest, and then Nest is able to have the interaction with the database to, let's say, like, you know, write to the database to be able to post in the S3 URLs of the created clips, right? So, you know, that's kind of where I'm leaning personally, because I think that with Python, we're going to have a lot more possibilities. Thanks, Roytech. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Anybody inexperienced dev in the database in chat that has any thoughts on the database stuff or how we should architect this? Because architecture, okay. So yeah, all business logic flows through Nest. So yeah, so like a big benefit of this is that the single authentication boundary, which we could create the authentication inside of Fast as well, you know, but just like to make that, it probably would need to be a webhook. Well, here's what, yeah, it would need to be a webhook. Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. Okay, use your existing Java entity system, yes. Okay, so key implementation points. Fast API is an internal microservice, no database connections, receive job parameters from Nest, returns clip URLs and metadata, stores clips in S3. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about. Nest orchestrates everything, validates requests and checks credits, traits job entities and queues to BullMQ. Front end uses existing polling pattern. We would want to change this to a job pattern eventually. Ian, it's AI. Yeah. And the reason that we want to use Fast, I'm actually going to move the desk up here. You know, the reason that we want to use Fast is because the Python packages, there's way more Python packages that can actually help us than Node packages. Okay, let's use Codex High Fast. What are your thoughts on this system? Also, if you guys are watching and haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Yeah, Composer is free right now. Okay, so let's... All right, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'll be back. Hold on. Also, I gotta fix the camera, the FBI cam. FBI cam was working. Let's see here. Okay, so this is gonna, my screen's gonna go black real quick. All right, room. So this is like frozen, I think. Hold on, let me fix this. What's up? All right, so I'm just switching it here. All right, this should work. There we go. Yeah, this is my POV, guys. This is my POV. How's that? We good? That's good enough. Let me move it up a little bit. Alright, how's that? There we go. Perfect. Alright, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, we back. What's good, guys? Oh yeah, let me pin the Discord. Thank you, J35. Alright, so let's see this. Let's see what GPT 5.1 High thought. So, yeah. So it's saying keeping Nest.js as orchestrator authority for jobs, credits, and auth is exactly what you want in this ecosystem. So that kind of goes to what we were kind of talking about here, is that we actually would not want this to connect directly, because then we would have to have all that, you know, the crediting, the auth, everything would have to then be in that fast. That would cause a lot of issues. So we're actually gonna, like, literally, it's just gonna go through the base service. Let's see this here. Sobek said you can call YTDLP or any other Python package with Nest.js with child process exec. Okay, hold on. What are your thoughts on... Hey Kane, it's going good. So for those of you that are just joining us, today we have a singular focus, which is building an AI clipping microservice or an AI clipping agent. So if you're familiar with like OpusClip, or there's a ton of them, it's like kind of a commodity now. So we definitely want that inside of ViewCreator because I use it a ton. It's one of the biggest marketing things now, is to be able to take a long form video and transition it into a bunch of TikTok videos or a bunch of, you know, just short form clips. So right now we're trying to figure out, you know, what we should do. So keeping the clipping system entirely inside of Nest.js is totally valid and in many ways simpler, and your existing architecture is already set up to support it. Yeah. Fast API only becomes must-have when you want deep Python ecosystem features, heavy CV stacks that are hard or ugly to do from Node. So this is why I am considering fast, like just so you guys, we're all on the same page. So when I went through and I actually tried to integrate the video highlighting system, is what we were calling it initially, you know, what I found is that we ended up having problems integrating some native Python packages into Node, okay? And that's why I'm exploring this option, is because, hey, with Python, you're gonna have a lot better features because there are more packages that are native to Python, okay? It's that they're in the deep Python ecosystem, okay? So why keeping it in Nest.js is attractive. So you're gonna have a much simpler architecture in ops, obviously. One API service instead of two. I know. No extra ECS service in discovery, internal networking, or cross-service auth to maintain single language stack for the backend. One CI/CD path. Yes. You already have most of the plumbing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is tough. Ethereum said don't run backend for clipping in the same backend, create different fast API server. Yeah. Yeah, Methius, great job presenting yesterday. Jose, how's it going, by the way? Yeah, Ethereum, we're building a clipping tool. Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, obviously we're going to build all this with AI, so we're not going to have, it's going to be pretty fast to build all that plumbing again. So concurrency blocking is manageable. So heavy work runs in BullMQ workers separate from separate node processes, so HTTP request handling isn't blocked. FFmpeg is a child process, not CPU inside the event loop. That's good to know. This is essentially the same pattern you're using for video generation and publishing. Yeah, computer vision. I mean, Imperium said use celery in Redis queue. Amiri baby, what's up? What's my approach for load balancing? I use AWS. Load balancing is very, very simple. In AWS, you just have an elastic application load balancer. So very, very simple. Okay. Okay, if your primary goal right now is to ship a strong V1 of the clipping agent and integrate tightly with existing ViewCreator jobs credits, I'd lean toward implement V1 entirely inside of ViewCreator API. So Cursor is actually recommending that we don't use this, that we don't split it into a microservice, which I could get behind. Chat, what do you guys think? What do you guys think, chat? Sam Stone said, Celery with a thread pool will scale just as well, and tasks can take much longer as NGN and Nginx won't time out. Yeah. Yeah. So it said, in other words, start in Nest.js for simplicity and speed, reserve fast API as a later optimization when or if the Python-specific upside becomes undeniable. The YouTube download does not take a lot. It does not take very long. It's like very, very fast. So, okay. I mean, honestly, I'm now leaning towards a little bit more of not using fast API. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, let's move the desk down. Just because, hey, if we take the right approach, you know, maybe the approach I took initially wasn't a good one, right? Maybe it wasn't a good one. So I found that, you know, I had a hard time with it the first time around, the first go around. But the thing is that could change if we just, you know, let's say instead of, if we do, and this is the thing when you're talking about microservices and all that, is that when you do have a microservice, it is going to be harder to maintain your project and it is going to be more complex, okay? That's just a fact. So, previous docs related to this system and completely delete and remove them. All right, I don't want to use the previous video highlighting system, so I'm kind of going to get it out of the documentation just because I don't think it's very good. Also, guys, if you're watching and you haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so right now. We have 80 people watching and only 43 likes, so that's just one way that you guys can help support the community, is to support the streams by giving them a like. Thank you. Do I host all my architecture on AWS? Yes, I do. I'm a big AWS person. Just because of past startups got very good at using AWS, so no reason to change. Also, you know, you can get startup credits. Like I did just get literally $1,000 from AWS, so I pretty much have like the next couple months paid for when it comes to AWS. And apparently, even when those run out, then you can get more. So it's like, why would I? Okay. Okay, so deleted this. Okay, let's now do... Okay, NilSX said it will be difficult to maintain if there is no load and tech stack can be same, then I would go for Monolith solution. If we really need some Python strength from start, then creating microservices is okay. Yeah, I appreciate that feedback. Make sure, NitSX, make sure you join the Discord, because I can tell that you're a smart guy, so... yeah, we're trying to get more people that, you know, have that information and knowledge. Okay, so I'm leaning now towards Nest, but I really want to think through how I want to approach this. Thanks, Linux. You know what we should do? What if we went through on OpusClip and did like a screen recording of the process of, you know, the OpusClip onboarding system, and then passed it into, we could pass it into AI Studio. So if you guys didn't know, in AI Studio, on Google AI Studio, you can pass in videos. I don't know if you guys knew that, but you can actually pass in videos. So something that we could do real quick is we could actually pass in, you know, we could pass in a video of the system that OpusClip has, and then maybe pass it. We could then drop that into Google AI Studio to do a comprehensive review, and then have Cursor maybe think about that comprehensive review and think through how we could reverse engineer that using Nest, right? The Real Brian said, I'm gonna watch later after my workout. I love this. Keep it up. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Quite similar, FYI. What do you mean, Pergenese? Jesse, we're working on the AI clipping agent. So, I mean, let's just try it. Let's go through. So I'm going to literally, I can record on OBS. And what we'll do is we'll just clip, like, yesterday's stream. Okay, so we'll go to yesterday's stream. And I think it's already, okay, yeah. So here's yesterday's stream. And what we'll do is we'll copy this. And I'll just make a simple recording here, screen recording, of us using OpusClip. Okay, so literally you can... So I can literally say create the most viral clips. And this is why, you know, OpusClip is pretty great. I mean, I can just crop it down, and I can do captions and select different captions. Alright. Alright, so you submit the project. And then also, I may show some of the clips created to Opus here. In this video, I'm gonna be vibe coding with the new Google Anti-Gravity IDE. So as you guys know, with the release of Gemini 3 Pro, Google also released their own IDE, which is very interesting. As you guys know, the background is that, they bought out Windsurf, they brought on the Windsurf founder and some of the team. So this is kind of their follow-up. This is their MVP for their own IDE. So we're gonna be testing it. Okay. So I just recorded that, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pass it into AI Studio, okay? And what we're gonna have it do is we're gonna kind of see, hey, could we potentially reverse engineer this? So I can literally pass this to the current model. It doesn't support files of this type. Okay, how do I switch? Oh, is it Flash I need to go to? Flash latest? Maybe Flash. The current model doesn't support. What the heck? What model supports the passing in of video? 2.5 Pro, is that it? What Google model is the one that actually takes in video? I use all sorts of different models, Richard. Compare. I know that there is a model that can take it. Here, let's ask Perplexity. What Google model is the one in Google AI Studio that is able to process videos? All right, process videos. MOV. What file types does it accept? Does it take MOV? Maybe it only takes MP4. It says it does accept MOV. MOV to MP4 converter. May have to do MOV to MP4. Okay, let's try this. Yes, convert. Yeah, maybe. That's what I'm thinking as well. Because I know that I have definitely uploaded something to this before. Gemini 2.5 Flash. Does Flash do it? Let's see. No. Okay, it's processing. All right, so once this, does a review, we're gonna kind of think through, okay, for captions, what package could we use to do the caption recording of us using OpusClip? Okay, perfect. All right, so let's see, does this take it? So this is an MP4? Okay, so that's actually one really important thing to note is that it's MP4, okay? MP4. So let's see does Gemini 3 Pro preview then take MP4? Yeah, it does. I need you to review this screen recording of me creating clips using OpusClip in depth and talk about how we could potentially reverse engineer this system in our Nest API. For example, I need to think through how to create the shorts and using Nest, how we would potentially process long form videos and create short form clips out of this. You can see what it is capable of, but what I want you to do is I want you to process this video and then just do a complete breakdown of the different features in this system and then potentially talk about what we could use inside of Nest to reverse engineer this using Nest API. Okay. So we're gonna see if we can kind of reverse engineer this, right? Which model for OCR images? Google Gemini Pro is probably the best one, right? $10,000 tokens. All right. Wow. Look at how good this is. Jeez. FFmpeg. OpenAI. Wow. Wow. Jeez. This is crazy. Shanty, you're not too late. Just for those of you that are joining us, so today we have a sole focus of this stream, okay? We are going to try to reverse engineer OpusClip or just build our own AI clipping agent in under 4 hours to get to an MVP for an AI clipping agent. So what we're doing right now is we just passed in kind of the process of actually doing clips on OpusClip, just because that's who I use and I want to build a similar system. So, you know, we passed that into AI Google Studio, which was then able to break down what this is. So here's like face cropping. Wow. So the hardest part to reverse engineer, it's saying, is layout switching. Yes, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, do not attempt this synchronously. 100%. All right. So transcribe first. Great work on your analysis, but I need you to search up the latest models and note that in our Nest API, we are using an integration with OpenRouter, so we don't have to use legacy models like GPT-4o or Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Do an internet search for the latest models that would be the best to use, as you have training data that is old. So I need you to do a quick search on OpenRouter for what models would be the best for the transcription or for the processing of video, and think in depth about what we could do. One thing that's very important is not only for us to be able to, for the AI and the agent that we create to be able to see the transcript, but it's also important that it's actually able to process the video. So do in-depth research on this and come back to me with an updated breakdown based on what you find. I don't use AI from Hugging Face. Sound Spectre, what's up? Yeah, welcome in, guys. We're locked in today, building a AI clipping agent. Should be pretty straightforward, I believe. We were kind of looking into, hey, should we use fast API? Should we use a microservice? And I think what we're deciding is we actually just want to keep this in our initial structure, because we probably can't just pass this to a queue system that's not going to extract away from, you know, what we have already. Yeah, Sobek said exactly what I said. Child process exec plus queue system like BullMQ. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, big shout out to Sobek 69,000 or 6,900. Yeah. Shanti said that I had an idea and created half of the project. My friend told me that it's already out there. I lost motivation to do it anymore. Don't see the point now. Okay, this actually brings up a really good point that I want to talk about, guys. One thing is, you don't have to be it doesn't matter if an idea is already out there, guys. And people, don't let your friend discourage you, man, because the probability that you create something that is not already out there is like 0.001%. You're always going to have competitors. Like, the ideology that you're going to create something that's never been done before is very low. There's nothing wrong with building something that's already out there. Like, you know, we're building a competitor to Hootsuite and Buffer and what's it called? Somebody sent it in the Discord the other day. It was what, Post-its? And we're not creating anything that's like revolutionary, right? But the market is huge and there is a use case for it. So we're entering the market with ViewCreator, and we're going to be able to take some of that market. So don't let somebody discourage you, man. That's a bad way of thinking. Your friend, that's actually not very cool of your friend, in my opinion. Don't let somebody discourage you like that. Keep going. If you think it's a good idea, if you believe in it, then you should do it. Sarah for Caffeine, how's it going? Yeah, the layout switching part is crazy hard, yeah. Yeah, probably. Look at this, though. So auto reframe, and brother codes, this is to your point, this is what it's talking about here. So for the selected 60-second clip, we take a frame every 1 second, send frame to Quinn at 2.5 via open router, identify the primary speaker's face, return bounding box JSON with that box. And that's why, you know, if we can vibe code this, it'll be a lot better. So it's talking about using Gemini 2.5 Pro latest here. Okay. Great work. I now need you to write a complete handoff prompt with the summary of this conversation as well as instructions on how we can get this structured. All right, perfect. Sobek said, for transcribe feature, you can use Whisper vFree, but via Grok API, it's super cheap and extremely fast. Yeah, the Grok API, I think Matthias was actually talking about that yesterday in our project sharing. If you guys didn't know, so it's Grok. So I was actually confused. I thought he meant like Grok, like, you know, Elon Musk's Grok, but Grok here is a potential really good thing that we could do, Grok here. All right, so this is a handoff prompt. All right. All right, so we're gonna do a new agent, and we are going to be using ChatGPT 5.1 High, Codex High with max mode turned on. We're gonna drop this in, and then we're also going to put it in plan mode, okay? You are to evaluate the existing architecture and note that I want this tool to be called internally and referred to internally as AI clipping agent. All right, let's plan this out, guys. So, and what we did here, and you know, this is a really interesting part, is that when you're doing planning with AI, you know, there is some skill to it, right? And we'll see how, you know, we're going to be streaming for like another 3 hours, so we'll see how it ends up turning out, you know. But you know, the sole focus of today's stream is, can we get an AI clipping agent that it doesn't have to be OpusClip level, but can we get it maybe 50% of the way there, right? Could we get it to the point where I can drop in one of my long form videos and create, you know, 20 clips, right? And you know, something about AI and vibe coding in general is that there is skill to it, right? You have to understand, like, what steps did we take, right? Well, first of all, we had detailed conversations with Perplexity, and then we cross-matched that with our existing architecture using Cursor, and what Cursor ended up suggesting is it said, hey, don't use the fast API, that's going to overcomplicate things. Also, a few of you in chat pointed that out, so shout out to those that were kind of adding your feedback in as well. But, you know, there is a skill to vibe coding, and there's a skill to using AI, you know, and I think that some of the best people in the future are just going to be very, very skilled in this field, right? So, you know, what did we do? How did we plan this? Well, we used a multitude of different models. We used AI Google Studio to be able to reverse engineer OpusClip based on the Nest.js architecture that we already have, and now we just planned this out. So let's kind of read through this plan, because we really need to understand what we're doing with this. This is going to be a very complex feature, and I do believe that we can build it, but we are really gonna need to understand what exactly is going on. And like there's a difference, right? Like, for example, if we were just like go back to, let's say, the caption creator, right? That's a feature that, hey, it's not really a costly feature. It's not very complex. It's gonna be pretty easy to architect that and build it. Like, just, you know, send it off, you know, 2 prompts and you're done, right? But this feature is very complex. So we really need to understand, if we want to build this today, we really need to understand what we're doing. Shani said, I'll complete it. Yeah, keep going, man. J35 said maybe this can be used for video processing and editing, and he dropped in a GitHub package. I'll take a look at that in a second. Let's see what this actually came up with, though, first. So BullMQ, which we're already using. So document how existing async infrastructure can host a dedicated AI clipping agent and processor without blocking HTTP threads. Add AI clipping agent to the queues and describe how it fits in queue service for Java architecture. Okay. Create the AI clipping agent model with AI clipping agent.module.ts. Wiring up services for ingestion, intelligence, smart cropping, and rendering, initially stubbing class methods with clear to-dos. Define service skeletons, video ingestion service, intelligence processor service, smart crop. So the smart cropping, like Brother Code's referred to, that could potentially be the hard one. But, you know, you did see, it's like, hey, we're not coding this by hand, right? I think that there is a big potential with that. We could get something, you know, if we were just returning cropping with JSON, we'll see. We'll see. Capture, start, end clips, layout, metadata, and bulk QM jobs. Okay. Register an AI clipping agent in Qubit. Okay. Comment integrations, OpenRunner module. You know what I didn't like? It wasn't able to pick up on our existing OpenRunner connection. So if we go to SRC. Modules here. Look at this. We already have an OpenRunner module. Note that we already have this OpenRunner module, so we should not have to rebuild it. And Ricky, yeah, we did get approved on Meta, so we're only waiting on TikTok now, which, you know, it gives us an opportunity to build this, you know. All right. Yeah, thanks, Enrique. Also, if you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so right now. If you are just tuning in, today we are working on an AI clipping agent. That is the sole focus of today's stream. Usually, you know, we're doing all sorts of different stuff, but this is a very, very difficult feature, and honestly, one that is going to be quite a challenge. So if you guys are interested about just like vibe coding super complex features, this is a super complex feature. This is no joke. So, you know, I think that if you guys want to, you know, this is going to be about, we're going to be going for about another 3 hours at least. So, all right, leverage the existing. Okay, cool. All right, so let's just build it. Honestly, I'm more of a build, iterate, and iterate. I'm going to use the restroom real quick, but yeah, let's just build. Let's build, and we'll iterate based off of what it comes back with, you know? All right, I'm back. What's good? We back. What's up? Sound Spectre, don't get demotivated. I mean, why aren't you using Cursor or something else, though? J35 said, Pydantic AI for transcript analysis and clip selection, movie PYV2 for video processing, OpenCV plus media pipe for face detection and smart cropping. The problem is J35, how are those going to fit into Nest, right? Like, and how will, I think that's a question that we have to ask, is how will they fit into Nest? We'll see. Definite code, that's awesome. Visual Past asked Mac or Windows for coding. I'm a huge Mac guy, so if you guys ask me that question, I'll always say Mac. Replit. Yeah. So, Ashutosh just asked, what about Replit? I have no knowledge about coding and stuff, so creating an MVP with Replit, is that good? Even if I scale to 100 paying customers? Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting because that's like a new, I don't know, Replit and Bolt and what's the other one? Lovable. You know, those weren't around when I started. So, you know, for me, I would always recommend using Cursor. Because I think that Lovable and Bolt and these platforms, they are meant for people that have like zero technical knowledge. But I will say, and maybe I end up being totally wrong about this, and that's the direction that it does end up heading, where, you know, Lovable and, you know, these other platforms that make it even easier to develop apps, like, really take off. But I don't think that those platforms are really there yet. I would suggest Cursor, but I mean, if you know nothing about programming and you're really just trying to build, I mean, I don't have any experience with those platforms, so I do know that they do have limitations. I don't use them personally, so I can't really give you a recommendation on that. I can only give you a recommendation based off of what I actually use. So I use Cursor, so it's hard for me to recommend anything other than using Cursor. J35 said, all I know is I am watching Bridgemind, who is consistently working for about 3 months now, and you will figure it out. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you work consistently, if you show up every single day, you will figure it out, and you will learn, right? So, you know, I just think that Cursor is so powerful that it's hard to compete with Cursor. Definite Code, or Sound Spectre said, I remember when Lovable first came out, it was my first AI tool I used to build some fun prototypes until all others came out and filled the market. Yeah. Definite Code said, people who have the knowledge will always be better than a prompter without the knowledge, in my opinion. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, AI is an extension of the underlying person, right? So if you know nothing about what you're doing, that's why, you know, hey, I don't know how to build this clipping agent, but I do think that if we take a really good approach on it and we do the planning that's required, I think that in the next 3 hours, we're going to be able to build an AI clipping agent. And I'm not writing any of the code myself. I'm not, I just am going through this vibe coding workflow that I know how to use. And we'll see we'll see where we get. It could end up being a complete bust, and we'll have to revisit it. We'll have to tear everything apart. But in the process, we'll learn. Yeah, Ethereum, we're working on the back end right now. So right now, if you guys are wondering, so this stream is solely focused on building an AI clipping agent inside of ViewCreator. ViewCreator is the product that we've built. So ViewCreator is an all-in-one platform where people are able to connect, manage, and grow all of their social media accounts from one dashboard. Right now, we're still waiting on verification from TikTok, but we do have complete end-to-end integration where users are able to connect to their social media accounts and scale them with a bunch of AI features. And I've used it to be able to help me in my processes. And one thing that we need now is we need an AI clipping agent, because if you guys saw the last marketing stream, so I do streams where the stream names are marketing ViewCreator using ViewCreator, because ViewCreator ultimately is going to be a very, very powerful tool. I think it already is, but we're going to continue to make it better. You know, our goal is to get ViewCreator 2.0 launched by January 1st, 2026. So up here, you know, we have 3 goals: launch ViewCreator 2.0, 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and then 1,000 members on the Discord by January 1st, 2026. And with ViewCreator 2.0, that is the end-to-end integration with all the different social platforms. And now we're just waiting on TikTok. So, you know, we could get approved as soon as tomorrow for TikTok, and then we're kind of golden. And we do need an AI clipping agent. I'm not going to integrate crypto into ViewCreator, but it's definitely possible. Garfield asked, how do you host agent? Like, I want to do an agent for a thing, but I don't understand how to host, framework, etc. Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to kind of learn as you go. That's the beauty of AI, is that it used to be you had to have all this technical knowledge to get started, and now you can actually kind of learn as you go, right? Which is kind of the beauty of AI, and what I love about AI so much is that, you know, you can totally just learn as you go now. So, you know, that's how I got started. Is I realized how powerful ChatGPT was, and I was like, oh wow, I can just learn as I go. So what's cool about AI today is that you can just learn as you go. So if you guys are just getting started, or if you are, you know, already a developer, what's cool is that we're building this clipping agent right now, and I just kind of am learning as I'm going how the AI is doing it. And my process for building and for vibe coding, let's actually bring the desk up here. You know, my process is build, iterate, iterate. That's how I would define my process. Is you build first, and then based off of what comes back, you know, you want to make sure that you build it at least semi-correctly in the first place. But I think you're able to build and then iterate and then iterate. So that's what we're doing with this clipping agent. We'll see how far we can get. You know, I think this will be a really good test. And we're using Cursor, and we're using GPT 5.1 Codex High, for those of you wondering. So here we are. Thank you, by the way, Jesse. Also, big shout out to our moderators, Jesse, J35, Linux. We've built a great team here. But yeah, if you guys are watching and haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Also, we do have a Discord with over 900 members in it, so if you guys are interested in building joining a community that's growing very fast and is filled with vibe coders and builders, helps each other out, make sure that you join the Discord. It's pinned in the chat as well as in the description below. Okay, so it looks like it's creating the testing files, and you know, the great part about Cursor that I really like is you can watch the files go in one at a time, right? So, you know, we're kind of watching these go in. So the AI clipping agent processor, the AI clipping agent module, this is already added it to the app module. So that's one great thing about Cursor, is that it gives more of an in-depth look in the user interface than like if you were running Codex in the CLI would, or Claude Code would. Yeah, I'm lucky. I'm lucky to have them. All right, let's go to Docker, pull Docker up. So now it is, we're gonna need to run this system. So you guys can see down here in Cursor, you're able to manage your terminals. So down below here, let's just open up the terminals a little bit more, and I'm going to go here, and I'm gonna do an npm run start dev, and we'll see how many errors we have and what we're looking at there. But wow, 951, that's insane. Curious, I am not self-hosting, I'm using AWS. Linux said I was summoned. I mean, hello chat. Hope all is well. Let's go, Linux. Yeah, so Garfield, so I'm actually working behind the scenes, as you guys know. I am working on another project called Vibecademy. And I am solely focused on ViewCreator, but I think that there also is an opportunity for Vibecademy. So I'm working on it like in the mornings, just kind of like as a passion project. And for that stack, I'm hosting it on Vercel and using Supabase. So for example, this morning, I probably put about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours just over coffee. I just love working. I just love vibe coding. I love working. So, you know, even in, oh geez, no. Hold up. Oh geez, Composer. Oh my gosh. We wanted to delete the blog module. So fix the error by deleting anything related to the blog module. Composer was like, let me just build it for you. J35, we need that. We should get a commands for all the mods. That's hilarious. Yeah, Jose, for real. All right, there we go. So is this, okay, still working here. All right, so it's running tests and fixing any failing tests. So I mean, we'll be able to see, and this is the nice part about not spinning up the, you know, initially we were talking about getting fast API, and we could be wrong, right? I could say, because I have tried to build this one time before. I will say it was with models that were not as good as the models that we're using now, which is crazy to say, because I think I tried to do this like a month ago. But, you know, we were looking at using fast API and then maybe building, you know, an integration between nests, but we decided against this, and we're just gonna remain on our existing architecture because, hey, with a BullMQ jobbing system, we're able to still use this, and it's not gonna detract away from the HTTP request. So we should be able to get this running. I think probably in the next 5 minutes we'll be able to see if this is actually working. And I will tell you what, I highly doubt that it is going to work on the first shot. If it did, that would be like insane. This is a complex feature, guys. We'll see though. Yeah, no, 100% J35. Okay. So you're the test modules going in. So I do use Jest, and tests are like kind of take it or leave it. I get asked about that, like, hey, should I be integrating tests? Like, tests are kind of sometimes a little bit redundant, in my opinion. What if? How's it going? Welcome. They can be redundant, but we'll see. I use them. Also, if you guys are watching and haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so right now. I see we got 101 people watching, only 77 likes. So if you haven't liked it up, let's go, guys. Okay, so is this all passing? Looks like this is gonna pass here. So we'll be able to test this. We do need to integrate it with the front end, which will be pretty straightforward. You know, most of the logic is heavily in the back end, obviously. So if it works in the API, we're not gonna have much of an issue integrating it inside the front end. So I'm not too worried about that. It's more API issues. All right, so here's BullMQ. And this was one benefit of using the existing architecture, is that, you know, pretty much what we did is we started out and we said, okay, we started, so the main goal of today is the AI clipping microservice. We're actually not gonna do microservice. We decided against that because we were gonna use fast API, but with fast API, you know, if you do the microservice, you lose what you already have built, and that's what Cursor recommended to us, because we did a handoff prompt, and literally in the handoff prompt, it was about building the microservice, and what we found is that it said, hey, I would just use the existing architecture that you already have because there's already so much built on it, right? Which that does make sense. Looks like there's an error here. Open router, we'll see. We'll see. Will be very interesting to test this. Ashutosh asked, what is the average it costs you to complete one SaaS? $100 or more. So it's not like, okay, $500 will build one SaaS. It's more like the way I approach it is obviously I work a lot. I work every single day. I don't take any days off. I code probably about 8 to 10 hours a day on average. If you average all the days together, and I use about $600 a month in AI costs. It's not like, okay, this will build, $500 will build ViewCreator, right? It's more like, okay, I'm a programmer, I'm a developer, I'm a vibe coder, and I use AI to build things for me. And it costs about $600 a month for me to do my work if I'm working every single day, right? So it depends on what project you're working on, it depends on what tools you're working on, but there's no like dollar amount that's like, okay, you spend this much and you get this much for it, right? It's more like, I use AI for 8 to 10 hours a day. So, I mean, $600 for the amount that I actually do use AI is not that much. Alex, there's no difference between vibe coding and coding. Actually, I would say there is a difference. Vibe coders are ultimately probably more capable, I would say, than coders, in my opinion. Coding will be irrelevant within 5 years. It'll all be AI. So start vibe coding. Because as a business owner, I'm only interested in vibe coders, in hiring vibe coders. I'm not interested in, I don't think it's a badge of honor anymore to make fun of vibe coders. I think that vibe coders will be in super, super high demand. Okay. So let's see here. Let's run an npm run build, just confirm. Let's go, Alex. Yeah. Yeah, I pretty much use AI for everything that I do. Yeah, any job I will outsource to AI, pretty much. And I've been doing that for years. So, okay, so everything's running. Okay, great work. I now need you to come up with a way to be able to integrate this into the front end. All right, we'll do a plan for this as well. So just drop the entire repo in, and then I want there to be an AI clipping agent option in the sidebar. And you should create the page for this. On this page, this is where users will be able to create new jobs and to be able to see existing jobs. So build all the API routes for this and connect it to the front end and update this system so that we can actually have a working system end to end and test this in the front end. All right, let's go, guys. One step closer. So backend finished, no errors, testing framework works well. We'll be able to now integrate this into the front end and actually see. We're going to do a lot of debugging. You know, I'm going to be streaming at least for the next 3 hours on this. We'll just see how far we can get. You know, this is the sole focus of today. And what's cool is that, you know, we have so much working now. Actually, I didn't even mention this, but last night I was obviously working and I did get PostHog and Sentry. I ended up getting Sentry. I was kind of working on it in stream, but inside of Sentry, I did get it working on all 3 repos. So that's just very nice. Sentry is nice because Sentry does act as like a bug alert system. So anytime that you get a bug, in any of the projects, it now alerts me, which is very nice because Sentry also has an MCP, and that's where I find MCPs to be very useful, is when you have like something like Sentry where, oh man, okay, cool. Build. So, you know, with Sentry, the Sentry MCP, why it's so good is because rather than having to like, maybe let's say like copy and paste errors that you're getting in Sentry over into, I'll just show you guys how it works right now. Watch this. Using the Sentry MCP, evaluate errors that we are getting in the following projects. And I'll literally just drop in ViewCreator UI, ViewCreator, because these are the names of the projects in Sentry. Create a README file with the documented errors that we have gotten in the last 12 hours for each of these repos. And then create a plan to fix the errors that you are seeing in each project respectively. And then I'll literally just drop in ViewCreator. This is the ViewCreator UI. Hey, this one is the ViewCreator Creator UI. I need this. And then this one is the ViewCreator API. So this is going to be a very good system that this is kind of the first time I'm actually using it. So you guys are going to be able to see this. But, you know, we're using the Sentry MCP because Sentry is going to be able to make those calls to say, okay, find the organization, find the projects inside of Sentry, and then actually find errors that have happened in the last 12 hours for each of these projects, then create a README file of all the errors that we're getting and a plan to fix those errors. Like that's what we're doing. And that's the power of AI, right? Sound Spectre said, about those npm run build, when to use what and what case, I'm kind of confused. For npm run build is just like a next command to be able to actually build the .next project, right? So like, do you see this right here? See how it says .next here? So when you run an npm run build, it compiles this. It compiles this. I think that Droid did a good job on marketing. Is what I think of Droid. I think they did a good job on marketing. I don't use Droid personally. I think it's a little bit overhyped. You know, Droid, isn't that Droid, they only have the CLI, right? Because my thoughts on Droid are, hey, with Cursor, I can do planning, I can use browser, I can use terminals, I can use the drag and drop for files, I can app my files, just all these things that just rack up, that just, in my opinion, I'm not sponsored, you know, that's just my thoughts. Cursor works really well for me. You guys can have things that work really well for you, but as a developer, I think that Cursor is just absolutely amazing. The to-dos, all this, it's incredible. Kiev Visual said Gemini 3 is at the top of the leaderboard for coding. However, some of the small changes can be done with most models. Yeah, and that's the cool part. Oh wow, a ton of people are over on Twitch. Tofu, the Lofu. Said don't need to learn code, learn to vibe code. He said that coding is dead. Vibe coding democratizes coding for the smart business guys, and now we don't have to. Oh, that's actually rude. Over in Twitch chat. Okay, if you guys Ricky Strikes asked, I'm 24. Okay, if you guys didn't know, I do also stream over on Twitch, and the Twitch chat is getting spicy. The Twitch chat is spicy right now. I don't even know if I can't even read it, what's going on over there. There is a, I may have to, I guess there's no link in the description for my Twitch, but the Twitch is spicy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, I actually do agree with a lot of what you're saying, Tofu. But Ricky Strikes, to your point, yeah, I mean, I don't think that 24 is too late to code, right? There's never, if you want to do something, there's never too late of an opportunity to do it, and I'll actually kind of like talk about this. So when I was 20 years old, right, that's when I started programming, like really, really like every day. And when I was 20, I wish that I had got started sooner, right? And now, 3 years later, I'm like happy that I started at 20, right? So you're probably just experiencing that same feeling where you're like, oh man, I wish I started when I was 20, right? But that feeling will follow you your entire life with whatever you're doing, right? It's like, if you ever want to get good at something, you'll always wish that you started a little bit sooner. Dark Fate, what's up? How's it going? Curious said that anti-gravity is better than cursor. I'm not there yet with anti-gravity, but I have heard a lot of people are hyping anti-gravity up. I think it has a ton of potential, but yeah, not there yet for me to switch over. Yeah, not there yet. Mary Baby said that AI will never replace taste. Yeah, that's true. Sobek asked, for what type of tasks are you switching between models? When should you use Composer 1, GPT 5.1, and Gemini 3? Yes, that's a good question. You know, Gemini 3, what I would say about that model, incredible UI model. That is my go-to for UI. Not going to use anything else for UI probably ever again. Not ever again, but you know what I mean. Just like for right now, the kind of the alpha model for UI is Gemini 3. By far, and then kind of the alpha model for backend, like complex business logic in the backend and database is probably Codex. You could also put like Claude Opus in there as well as Claude Sonnet 4.5. Those are up there. And then also, you know, like, you know, with GPT 5.1, you can do UI. It's just not going to be as good. You know, it's like, hey, you do have these models for different purposes. But then for like really fast logic that's simple, you know, Composer 1 can be pretty quick. Composer 1, you know, 200 tokens a second is pretty incredible. Dark Fate said, can you one-shot admin dashboard with the agent? I'm thinking to give it a try. Yeah, you can. Yeah, anti-gravity, I found that it is super buggy and limited. Dev Mindset said that he started programming at 13. And right now I am 17. You got a bright future ahead of you then. Yeah, if you guys get started young. But also it does relate a lot about how much time you put in. Like even if you're 24, even if you're 23, you know. You throw a lot of time at something, you're going to get good at it. You're going to get good. It goes back to the point that I was talking about today, guys. X squared. If you are truly giving it your all, investing everything that you can into building a skill or building something, creating something, and showing up every single day, you'll be shocked at how much progress you can actually make and how far it's gonna take you. You know, it really is remarkable to see how far you can make it. It's incredible. Also, if you guys are watching over on Twitch, make sure that you follow me on Twitch. You know, I'm trying to grow that platform. Obviously, the YouTube is taken off, but something with BridgeMind and this channel is that, hey, we're going to take off on all these channels. So if you guys are watching on Twitch, I just want you to know I do have the chat pulled up. I can't see what you guys are saying. And maybe drop some W's in the chat. Make sure you drop a follow on Twitch if you haven't already. But right now, I think we're up to 107 followers. So it seems like, to me, the Twitch is also taking off or starting to take off. So I'm trying to, you know, keep that chat open and interact with you guys over on there as well. So just, you know, really appreciate it if you're watching over on Twitch. It means a lot. Maybe I can even drop in, like, I think on Nightbot, I can make it so that there's a command to drop in the Twitch. Hold on. Let me try this. So I'm going to go over to Nightbot. Dev Mindset said I spend 6 or more hours every day. That's awesome. X Ruku, what's up? Linux, what's good? Yeah. Winky, shout out to Winky over on Twitch. All right, you know what I'm going to do, Linux? I'm actually going to add in the command, a command for the Twitch. Let's see here. So I can literally go to the command, new command, and I'm going to create a Twitch command. Okay. Okay, so I just created this. So now there is a... Here, let's try this. All right, watch this. So we do a command Twitch. Let's see. Just set up Nightbot for this. Does that work? Oh, there it is. Yeah, if you guys want to go watch over on Twitch or support the Twitch, I just dropped a link to it in chat. X Roku, what's good? Oh, you're Metheus? Let's go. Linux, thank you, man. Yeah, I've got both chats pulled up, so. It's just that there is, like, for the amount of success that we've had on, I was actually doing some research about it just because in terms of, like, everything that we're doing, there is a purpose to all of it. Like, there's a purpose for the YouTube, there's a purpose for the streams, right? You guys know the mission that we're on. Winky said that Twitch plus YouTube chat is the move. Twitch, so much less delay. Yeah, I think there's less latency over on the Twitch stream for some reason. Jesse said that 49 more members to reach our big milestone on Discord, guys. 1,000 members for the win. Are we up to 549? That's crazy. Thank you guys for all the support. Yeah, if you guys haven't already joined the Discord, there is a link pinned to the chat and in the description down below. Gaming FPS, what's up? Kia Visual, what's good? Let's get it. All right, so this is still working on our clipping agent here. Still building. So let's check out the paint is making, okay, interesting. Interesting. So you can see that this is pretty cool. So it literally went over using the Sentry MCP. It looked up what errors we got over the last 12 hours. But the thing is, I thought I actually had errors. I'm pretty sure I did. Hold on, let me pull up Slack real quick. Because I had like some interesting errors. Oh, interesting. Using the Sentry MCP, did you see what these errors were? Unknown, what's up? How's it going? PNK Sounds, what's up? Let's get it. Dev Mindset said, I've been watching you since day 11, but don't chat that much. Dev Mindset, yeah, I've seen you around for a while. I know that you're an OG. Appreciate you, man. Omega Kazane and over on Twitch said, what are we making? Yeah, ViewCreator.ai. I don't think that Nightbot is hooked up to Twitch. We're going to need to do that. We're going to need to... Is the meta verification for Instagram published? Yes, it is, Yvonne. Yep, we have Facebook, Instagram, and then I'll show you guys. I mean, we can probably actually do a check. It's possible that we could get verified. I mean, let's just do a check here. So here's what I am seeing. I'll refresh. The last time I did refresh, though, I haven't refreshed yet. I'll check. But this is what I'm seeing for the TikTok verification. I just refreshed. Yeah, still same. So still this review. So this version of ViewCreator is in review, and this is like the last step for us to build ViewCreator 2.0. And really, what is crazy is that, you know, we built this way faster than I initially anticipated. I thought that we would be working on ViewCreator 2.0 like until January 1st. You know, I thought we'd be building the logic. And then we just built it in like 10 days. It's just crazy. Amiri Baby said, I have been watching from day 8 too. Let's go. You know, I think we do have an OG badge in the Discord, right? If you guys are OGs, I know that Amiri Baby and Dev Mindset, I remember you guys from the early days. So we get put an OG badge on these guys. How long did AI say ViewCreator 2.0 is going to take? I mean, when it says it, like a team of people, it would probably take 6 months to build what we have in like the last 10 days. Prior to AI, all right? Prior to AI, which is just insane. Sobek said, I haven't noticed that you use Git much. What's your opinion on that for vibe coding, for example, creating a branch for every agent, discarding changes, or using a similar workflow? Yeah, so I'll kind of talk. That's a good question. You guys don't see me use it much because I actually use VS Code to manage Git. So I actually always have VS Code pulled up on my other browser because it allows me, like, if I ever need to update environment variables or stuff like that, I can just easily kind of like do that over here. But this is also where I do Git. So for example, if you guys notice, like if I draw your attention right here, you'll see that for each of the branches, I operate in the dev branch. So for each branch, I'm in the dev branch, I'm not in the main branch, and I stay on dev because it's much simpler to just stay on a dev branch and then, like, maybe at the end of the day, be able to push all the changes. I don't push like all the time. Like, here, let me pull up my GitHub and we'll see, like, I think I push maybe like 1 commit a day for each repo, so that would be like 4. But let's actually just pull up my my GitHub profile. You guys can see my GitHub profile here. So yeah, so 3,859 contributions in the last year. So here, like you guys can see, I kind of started this on like August 2nd or something, I think is when we started streaming. But, so like 18, so I guess I do a decent amount. 12, 31, 9, 9, 24. So it just depends on the day. But yeah, I usually like am pushing changes when I get to like a working MVP on something. I'll then push to GitHub, you know. Yeah, PNK System says we're still in the baby AI era. Can't wait for the full AGI systems. Yeah, they'll be crazy. Over on Twitch, Winky said AI always 3x the amount of time. Like it doesn't know its own power. Not even 3x, like 20x. Yeah, it'll be saying like this will take a week to do, and it takes like, you know, not even a day. Omega said, what are your server cost predictions? So right now we're at about $500 a month. But we do have like, we're getting some help from AWS. So like they give us $1,000 this month, for example, in credits. So we're just using that. Unknown said, I don't know if this is what you are working on, but I recently saw a TikTok vid of a service that uses AI agents in which a user sets a number of YouTubers, and once they upload a video, the AI agent auto clips. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, we're going to create something similar. We don't have that fetching logic, but just the ability to create those clips, yes. Silent Spectre said, I found your stream where you still worked on your product. I think it was Goalpost. You had a hoodie and glasses and played some funk music. Yeah, I had no idea that, I mean, it's that same logic, right? I didn't know exactly, like if I could have predicted that, you know, we would be in November and things would have grown to this point back then, like when I initially started, I would be like, oh, wow. You know, because I hadn't done any of the streaming. I hadn't done any of that. So I was kind of learning how to do it. But yeah, I mean, you guys know the story. When I initially started streaming, I was not comfortable with like putting myself out there. So I just had, and I knew I wanted to stream. So I just, okay, it looks like this is done. So I had a hoodie and sunglasses on and was playing like funk music. And then we evolved into what it is today. But it's pretty cool to see that trajectory. Okay, it looks like this is now built. So let's see. Let's see. I think we'll be able to test this. The odds that this works on a one shot is like very low, but we'll test to see anyway. Let's see. All right, guys, we're about to test this. First time testing. All right, let's go. All right, so here it is, AI clipping agent. Happy Host World, what's up? I'm doing great today. Yeah, underground hacker vibe. Yeah. All right, unable to load clipping jobs. That's not good. Oh, I haven't run migrations, have I? What did it do? Oh, I totally didn't instruct it to do anything for migrations, did I? What entities did it create? Let's see. Enums? No entities. Yeah, clipping agent. Okay, so here's what it created. So DTO, interface. Okay. AI clipping job payload. So is it using... So let's check out the module. Okay, job. Okay, cool. Okay, here. Okay, so this is good for just an MVP. So let's just open this back up. Let's see if it can even fetch. Let's just see if it can fetch anything, right? Cams, how's it going? What's up? Yeah, I'm still using cursor. All right. So let's see if it can fetch like this video here. That works. Also, we updated that system prompt. Let's do one. Yeah. What was it? 404 or what's it throw? .404. So is there an error in the API that's preventing this from? Oh. I think I didn't add the, hold up here. Tech GB asked, what about Codex CLI? You were using it a few days ago. I still use it occasionally. Omega Zane over on Twitch asked, where are your main costs coming from? Main cost is definitely still the AI costs, which is, you know, $600 a month. Dark Fate said, how quick do you reach the limit for your agents? I'm trying to save money, but at the same time finish the project. Yeah, so I mean, I think I'm about to hit my cursor limit in 4 days. So I have the Ultra plan, and I hit it about halfway through the month. Also, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. If you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Also, join the Discord, guys. There's a link pinned in the chat. I'll drop another do a Discord command here. So you guys, if you guys have not already joined the Discord, make sure you do so. But I'll be right back. Let's go, I'm back. All right, let's get fixed. Yeah, okay. All right, so it says running. Failed. To be expected, to be honest. What caused the AI clipping agent to fail, review, and fix? Hey, W Dan, what's up? W Dan in the chat, guys. All right. I reached my monthly limit for Cursor Ultra about halfway through the month. That's like my average, I would say. Create the most viral clips. All right, last one failed in like 2 seconds. Let's see if this one's any better. Looks like we solved the initial issue, right? Oh, it's not a valid. It's not a valid model ID. Which one is it trying to use? Gemini 2.5 Pro latest? Why would we not be using Gemini 3 Pro, right? Hold on. So we're gonna go to Open Router. So if you guys see the logs, this is a very simple error. At least the reason why this is failing. And this is kind of like the build, iterate logic, right? It's like, hey, you build, and then you iterate. So maybe Gemini 2.5 So over on OpenRouter, so we're gonna actually like get the actual, and we could use Gemini 2.5 Pro. How much is it? A little bit cheaper. Let's use this. What even is it using? Oh, it's the latest. Just use this, fix the errors, but here's the actual model ID. Yeah, no, so, you know, once you hit your limit for cursor, what you can do is you can just make it so that you pay for, like, usage-based pricing. So I hit my limit, right? And actually, I can show you guys, while we're working here, I can show you, like, what models I use, like, what are my top models, and what my usage actually looks like. So if I go to billing and invoices here, and I scroll down, so here is, okay, so here is what it looks like. So total... So I've spent $390 on the Cursor Ultra plan. Gemini 3 Pro Preview is what I've used the most this month, which is actually pretty interesting. So that's where most of my cost is coming from. And then, like, this kind of does show you how much cheaper Codex is, like GPT 5.1 is from Gemini 3. Like, that cost difference does add up. Like, watch this. You know, 175 million tokens, and it's $123. Whereas with Gemini or GPT 5.1, 272 million and $77. And that's why when people are asking, they're like, "Hey, what do I use if I'm on a budget?" I would. If you're on a budget, the GPT models are like way ahead of anything else in terms of, you know, actually being affordable. Right? Because you can even see there, it's like we use twice the amount of tokens almost, and it cost half the cost, you know? Create the most viral clips. 1.5 billion tokens? What? How are you using 1.5 billion? I mean, I guess I'm 785 million total. Dennis said you should hit up Cursor for a sponsorship so that you can cut AI costs. Yeah, I mean, kind of like where I'm at right now is I'm not taking any sponsors. I'm not interested in taking sponsors right now. I just want to stay true and authentic. Is auto unlimited? I believe that auto is unlimited, but the thing is, it's like auto's unlimited in the context of like you're gonna get put on like garbage models, kind of, you know. All right, so we have another error here. Now fix this error. Cursor didn't work for you? If you guys are watching and haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Right now we have 110 people watching, only 100 likes. So if you guys haven't already liked the stream, make sure you do so. Talha Khan, what's up, man? Omega's Kazane over on Twitch said, all I use is auto and never really run into errors. You mean run into errors or run into like usage limits? Danny said Gemini is the right choice for these clipping agents, especially given you can instruct to watch the video and listen to the transcript. 2.5 Pro should be more than enough, I think. Not that you asked. No, I appreciate it, Danny. Nope. W Dan in the chat. There's a reason that we call him W Dan. Well, what is that? All right. Let's try again. Create viral clips. Now it's just kicking that immediately. Oh. Oh. Oh, cool. What tech stack am I using? I am using Next, Nest, and Postgres. All on AWS. Now fix this error. Yeah, but Cursor is better, in my opinion, than Claude Code or Codex. And I was doing that, so I was using Claude Code, ChatGPT Pro, and Cursor. And what I was doing was I was using Cursor till I hit my limit on Cursor, and then I was switching over to Claude Code and ChatGPT Pro for Codex and Claude Code respectively. But then what I realized is that Cursor is just so superior that why wouldn't I just spend all $600 on Cursor and not even worry about the other two, you know? Yeah. Yep, Danny said it well. It's like one thing I can do now is so watch this. So GPT 5.1 Codex was the one that actually created the UI for this. Check out the UI of this page and completely reinvent the UI. And I actually have a command for this. It's this one here. Revamp styling is what it's called. And Gemini 3 Pro is just so good at styling that, you know, there's no purpose of using anything else for it, really. It's going good, Smart Pixel. All right. I have not downloaded the Gemini CLI into Cursor. Not really. I don't really want to either. All right. What was wrong with this? Okay. All these errors so far have been pretty simple. Create viral clips. Fix this error. Yeah, PostHog we integrated yesterday. Yvonne, the command basically says it says, you know, revamp the styling, following the theme. Here, I'll just open it up. Can I click this? Right. Yeah, so I want you to completely restyle and modernize this page, keep it on theme, but completely restyle it and re-envision it using modern styling. That's what it uses. Okay. Okay, so here's what Gemini Pro, honestly, it's not even that good. Composer 1 just came out, let's go. How many weeks ago was that? Guys, that was only 3 weeks ago, that's crazy, wow. We've come really far, really quickly. This one running? Did it restart? Create viral clips. Alright, here's the job. Failed. Oh, that's actually good. Fix this. Danny said PostHog's in-app AI is so powerful once you've got events set up. Yeah, I did set up the events too. I actually haven't checked PostHog today. Let's check it out. Because I pushed that code last night. So yesterday we were working on the PostHog integration and I pushed it last night. And I haven't actually yet checked you know, what the events have come back with. So it'd be interesting now to actually pull up PostHog and see what's even in it, right? You know? so Monday, so we have 160 page views today. So 160 page views. Yesterday we had 74. So what can I do to actually like see? Is there like some dashboard? Well, I guess this is the dashboard, right? First page, second page, average time to convert, 3 minutes. So this is like where you can see how many people are actually coming from YouTube, right? Oh, look at this. Whoa, this is actually really interesting. And this, I don't know if W Dan's here. Look at this, guys. Do you guys see this? Shout out to W Dan, because these are people from ChatGPT. Oh, this is probably not safe to show, right? So that means that ChatGPT is recommending ViewCreator? What the heck? $14 people from ChatGPT. Yeah, wow. This is actually really interesting. If I use chat. What are some of the best platforms that I can use to manage my social media growth that have AI tools built into them that I can manage to schedule content and use AI tools to be able to help me grow on social media? Create a list. And then actually let's try in temporary chat. This would be so interesting if ViewCreator popped up. Yeah, Harvey said that GEO is hidden because we did set up the LLMs.txt file. That would be so interesting if ViewCreator showed up here. No. I mean, somehow people are showing up for some people. I mean, we are seeing seven unique people. And then from Google, 41 from Google, which is a lot. 54 direct. So you can see probably like 154, 100 people are coming from YouTube. 54 people are direct, which is probably YouTube as well. And that's really what I'm seeing because we haven't really tried to drive marketing yet. A lot of what we are seeing is a lot of the traffic is from just the streams, right? And as soon as we start marketing, I do expect that to go up just a ton. Create viral clips. What stuff should we know before starting to vibe code as a CS student? I mean, you gotta know what you're doing, right? You gotta know what you're doing when you're vibe coding. Yvonne said, is PostHog free? Yeah, Dan said that they have a strong free plan. I'm just using the free plan right now. Okay. Hold up, sorry, that was intense. Intense music there. Okay, so it did say this. Review this. Why did this happen? So technically that did succeed. It just didn't get any clips. In our API for this AI clipping agent, could you add significant console logging so that we could actually debug this using the console in the API? I genuinely want to see everything that's happening so we can debug this. Johnny Johnson said, ask ChatGPT what is ViewCreator about. That's a good idea. Yeah, I was a developer before AI really took off, but yeah, pretty much a full vibe coder now. AI clipping agent, how do you have it in? We're building it right now, Smart Pixel. Thanks, Dan. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, and this is actually a really good technique that I use when vibe coding. If I'm ever working on a complex feature like this that I know is going to be hard to build. Some of the smartest things to do is to actually like just build super, super comprehensive debugging logs so that when we actually go to debug this, it's able to, we're able to create kind of like a loop. So, we'll run this and then we'll explain to the AI what happened. And then because we just added way more console logging, we'll be able to kind of pass that in and say, hey, this is what we're seeing. This is what's happening. Here are the logs. So that's what we're trying here. So now let's go back here and let's once again, pass this in, which the last job technically did succeed, but obviously this, this job should be able to complete. So create viral clips. All right. So now if I go back, we're gonna see. Yeah, do you guys see what it's doing now? Yeah, look at all these errors now that we're getting back. Massive stack trace, like this is great. Because now we're gonna be able to paste all this in here. And this is what I do when there's ever like a super complex feature that we're working on, right? Review this and fix the errors that's causing this. And I'm gonna use Sonnet 4.5 for this actually. Yeah, PNK, seriously. Kodiak said, I also started working on my master's in IT software focus a couple years ago. It's crazy how far AI coding has come since then. It's significantly easier than just copy pasting from ChatGPT. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Omega Kaizen over on Twitch said auto runs fine for him unless I haven't got a bad model yet. Like if I run into an error like broken code or weird things like Cursor used to do before. But I try to be detailed in my prompts with steps. I was like, hey, a JSON error, that's closer. Yeah. We're doing good, Jesse. We're testing it right now. We do have, like, as anticipated, we do have errors, but we're going to get through them. Yeah, Command plus L. So Dan's saying that you can use Command L and it'll auto paste whatever was in the terminal. Create viral clips. All right. Oh, video ingestion not implemented yet. Oh, there's a bunch of to-dos. The heck? No working demo yet, Droid Tech. I mean, this still says running. Or if I refresh this, it's gonna, yeah. Yeah, to be expected there. Review this in complete depth. Why is this still failing? It seems to me like this clipping agent is not yet complete. What aspects of it are we missing? Review this in depth and create a plan of what code needs to be updated so that this actually is working and we get this working. All right, we're gonna do a plan. And then also the context window, do we need to worry about that at this point? Yeah, I think people are going to lose their jobs, Daily Dose of Gaming, to be honest. But the question is, are people are going to lose their jobs, but people are also going to get a lot of jobs, and a lot of jobs will be created because of AI, right? So all right, we still have a lot of work to do, so what if C4F said, I haven't tried Cursor yet. I use Kilo Code mainly, and Claude Code with agents feels super powerful. Yeah, everybody has different workflows. I'm a cursor guy myself, but nothing wrong with that workflow. Aperv Sardana said, how do I start learning backend dev without doing it front end? I want to do it in Python. You can use like Postman. So Postman will allow you to work on backend dev without any front end integration. All right, let's stand up, guys. Let's do some push-ups. We gotta get the energy back in here. Let's go, chat. W's in the chat. Let's do some push-ups. Push-up time, guys. Let's go. Let's go, chat. W's in the chat. Let's go. Okay. Let's pull up PostHog again. Kind of look at, like, what is it actually? You know, we did so many PostHog events yesterday. I'm interested to see, like, with Cursor, can Cursor evaluate PostHog for us? Using the PostHog MCP, review the ViewCreator AI project and tell me important data and analytics from it. Let's go, Jose. No, I don't use Trey. Insom Gamers, what's up, man? We're not stuck. It's just a big, complicated feature that's going to take a couple hours to get a working demo, you know? And when I knew that headed into this stream, you know, that today the large focus was going to be this AI clipping tool. So, you know, I think this is a good test to see how can you build a super complex feature through vibe coding, right? I mean, this is a complex feature. Sheriff asked, how much do you know about your project's details, like its code and micro workflows going on inside? Yeah, so I mean, with vibe coding, it's less about understanding the syntax and understanding the small things, and it's more about managing the higher level architecture, right? So, you know, in terms of your question, you know, I don't spend a whole lot of time trying to understand the syntax or understand line by line what's going on. I just focus on big picture things. And, you know, I think that things like setting up Sentry, setting up PostHog, setting up feedback loops so that we can then fix the micro issues, setting up a good architecture, making it scalable, understanding the network infrastructure, those are the big picture items that you do, and then you allow AI to handle all the micro tasks. So, you know, honest answer, I don't really care about line by line code. you know, I do care. Like, I'll look at it and I can read it and I can say, oh, here's an issue, you know, with our database architecture and typo RM, or I can say, oh, that didn't do that right for the API because it did X, Y, Z. But in terms of like going back through and trying to do a bunch of review, I don't really worry about it. I don't think you need to in today's day and age. Dan said, I've been testing rough tools for a few projects and think it's worth recommending. What's rough tools? Oh, that's new, isn't it? Isn't that like really popular or something? That's an MCP, right? Yeah. I did see that recently. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so ref here. So WDN in the chat, he said this is the ref MCP. And this is an MCP that I'll just read it. So ref's MCP tools are designed to match how models search while using as little context as possible to reduce context rot. The goal is to find exactly the context your coding agent needs to be successful while using minimum tokens. Depending on the complexity of the prompt, LLM coding agents like Claude Code will typically do one or more searches and then choose a few more researches to read in more depth. For a simple query about Figma's comment REST API, it will make a couple calls to get exactly what it needs. For more complex situations, the LLM will try to refine the prompts with details. Ref takes advantage of MCP sessions to track search trajectory and minimize context usage. There's a lot more ideas cooking, but here's what we've implemented so far. That's actually pretty cool. So, yeah, that's cool. I'll try that out. Abhinav said, did you see the cursor source control issue finder feature? Source control issue finder? I did not. So we are still working on a couple things for the video clipping. I would say we're probably going to be, I would say a demo in an hour. We'll probably be there in an hour. Yeah, it is. There we go. Oh, that's cool. What are the top 10 most visited pages in the last 30 days? Siobhan, what's up? Jason, we're doing pretty good today. How are you? That's cool. All right. What if asked how much time does it take you to completely implement a complex feature? This is kind of a, this is the most complex feature we've worked on in a bit in terms of getting to an actual workable demo. You know, there's so many working parts to this one that probably 3 hours is like the time for this one. So that's why I said probably in about another hour we're gonna have a working demo, because this is a tough feature. It's complex. A lot of working parts here. All right, so last 32 days, we hooked this up just yesterday. So the homepage had 452 views, pricing 95, sign in 65, sign up 38, blog 33, AI content generator 31, sign up complete 31, YouTube 24. Wow, that's actually pretty good, to be honest. A lot of people on the playground page in the dashboard, but that's... What the heck? Does that page exist? Hold up now. Full by primes, I'll see you, man. Shanty, it's the AI clipping agent that we're working on. It's a pretty complex feature. Also, I just want to give a quick shout out to new members of the Discord community. We are up to 953 members, which is just crazy, the growth here. Big shout out to Madman, Mikey, Sleepy Boy, Drew, Basis Transformations, Ashu, Excellence, Dev, Angel, Sanction, Fisher. Welcome to the community, guys. I'm really happy that you joined. If you guys haven't already joined the Discord, there's a link pinned in the chat, as well as in the description down below. The goal is 1,000 in the Discord by the end of the year, so we're only 47 members away from actually reaching our goal, which is crazy. All right, so it looks like, and that's the great thing about Codex is it's able to really do a good job with linting and finding errors before it's like, okay, it's good to go. So let's now try this. Find viral moments. We're purely vibe coding. All right. What failed? Review and fix. I'm gonna check to see if we got approved on TikTok. Nope. When trying to get verified for my TikTok app for publishing, uploading, and the info basic permissions, how long does the review typically take? Okay. Great, I need you to do all this for me. Make sure we are following best practices because this is a Nest app. All right, so, yeah, I mean, so in the controller, we got the create job, get jobs, get the job by the ID. So there's these three routes. Biggest one is creating jobs. This calls the create job service. create viral clips. F15 asks, what's the best model for artificial intelligence, like for programming? It depends. There's different models that are good at different things. Immediate failure. Why is this still failing? Like Gemini 3 Pro is really good at UI. Help me understand this though. How will this run when we publish this to AWS and it's running in the cloud? For example, how will YTDLP actually be able to run? Abhinav, yeah, so that's like right over here, right? The agents review feature. Find issues, so it's be like this here. So agent review found no issues for review. Yeah, I feel like they're still working on that, to be honest. I don't think it's that super robust of a feature yet. What do we need to do and change in our YTDLP setup to get it to properly work? How is YTDLP integrated into the Nest project, as it is not a native Python application? So how should it be integrated to make sure that it still will work in the cloud? And that's what's good, man. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, good to know. I have Docker desktop set up. All right, NS is in the chat, guys. Everybody is required to do 25 push-ups because NS is in the chat. As you guys know, NS is the biggest OG of the BridgeMine community. So we're gonna have to do push-ups now. Let's go. Let's go. All right, so I'm trying to, so we have an issue, and this is like, so I'm honestly, to be honest with you guys, I'm not familiar with this. So, you know, YTDLP is a Python library, but we're using a Nest library. So, we should probably, this is when we need to transition to using Docker. We need to start using Docker. Let's go, NS. The background music. So this is bridge music. This is the AI music I made. I made AI music so we didn't get copyright strikes. Let me find, I'll drop in the playlist if you want to watch it. There you go. Also, if you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We got 116 people watching, 128 likes. I know we can get at least to 150 likes before the end of the day. So if you haven't liked the stream, we'd really appreciate it if you did. Okay, so P-Visual Pass said, what do I need to download to start coding on Mac? That's like a very broad question. Like, what do you mean? To start coding on a Mac? I mean, you can just download Cursor and get started right away. PNK Sound said, these push-ups plus my bike ride today is extra fun. Let's go, man. Cody said, unrelated question, what do you use your PC for? Gaming? Yeah, so actually, fun fact, guys. So when I was growing up, my parents were like super against gaming. So they, I actually wanted to, all my friends had like PS4s and Xboxes, and my parents refused to get me any gaming console. They were like against video games. So I never have been a gamer, interestingly enough. I mean, like Fortnite came out, I played Fortnite a little bit, but that's about it. So now that I'm older, I have no interest in playing video games. I'm playing the video game of life, honestly. I want you to do this for me. Start it up for me. Dan said that Sam Altman just called them that they're copyright striking bridge music. PvP Heat said, I'm also nearing a bot that, wait, he's vibe coding. He made a custom website, PHP template, and host on WP. Nice, man. So Sobek asked, are you using Docker to containerize your backend and front end? So that's actually, so it's a good question. And, you know, so something interesting that we're actually doing right now for the first time, and I'll kind of explain why. So I do use Docker for the API, but until now, there hasn't really been a huge reason for me to use Docker when I'm actually developing locally, because I haven't had enough packages that need to be, let's say, installed locally that I then, so like right now, you know, let's say I have Node version like 20 or whatever, I think it's like 22. I mean, we can literally go to the Docker file and check actually. Like literally if we go to the Docker file, we can see this. So if we go to Docker, the Docker file here. So before today, you know, we just had some like pretty simple Docker setup. So you see Node 20, you know, pretty simple, right? But now we need to get Python 3, right? So now there's going to be some, okay, Python 3.1 blocks pip install by default. Let me fix the Docker figures to only do, okay. Oh, okay, interesting. So now that we have these packages like YTDLP, no, we don't need to do any refactoring. We already use Docker. Yes, we're not refactoring anything. We use Docker, and Docker is great because then you can use ECS, right? So we're using ECS, we're Dockerizing it, we're containerizing it, and we use ECS. But locally, I typically will just run like npm run start dev, right? But now we actually need to start running Docker. We're gonna have to start a Bridgemine Minecraft server, guys. Alright, how many subs are we at, by the way? 8,279. We just hit 8,000 like yesterday. Oh my gosh. That's insane. Thank you so much for the support, guys. It's crazy. Kuba5K over on Twitch said, "Hey, what is the best AI model for programming now, in your opinion?" There's like so I get this question probably more than any other question. It's like, hey, there are different programming models. Like there are different models that are good for different reasons. You're gonna have Gemini 3 Pro that's good at UI. You're gonna have Codex, which is good at backend and database. Same thing with Claude Sonnet. And then you have like Composer, which is really good for going like really fast. All right, Docker build succeeded. Now starting the API container. All right, so is this working? Okay, let's not worry about Docker anymore. What do I need to get this running properly so that we can test the AI clipping agent locally running npm run start dev? PvP, large majorities from Stripe subscriptions. Some YouTube revenue in there, but I think large majority is from Stripe. Hamid 2007, what's up? Matthew Don, welcome. What's up? We're grinding today. We have a singular goal today, which is to build an AI clipping agent. We are 2 hours into this. Only 2.5 hours. That's nothing. Jeez. Yeah. Why do I need DLP and EKS? Will you be charging your customers for the data transfer for ITDLP? No, Andy. Alright, so we're installing it locally. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Looks like we are up to 133, so only 17. Our goal for the stream is 150 likes, which is crazy to say because there's about like, I remember like 2 months ago, I would be happy if we had like 50 likes, which is crazy. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Yeah, it's not terrible. We're just getting started. You know, when it comes to the revenue, I talk about this a lot, but, you know, we really haven't been trying to grow the revenue that much, right? It's like, my perspective on it is we've been building, and over the next month, we're going to feel out the marketing to try and figure out, hey, what's going to work for ViewCreator marketing. And then in 2026, that is when we are going to go like pedal to the metal on marketing, on running sponsored ads, campaigns, sponsoring influencers, and you guys are going to see the revenue jump from like 1,000 to 10,000 in like a couple days, like literally a month's time. I bet we'll be able to generate 10,000 in revenue pretty quickly once we start pushing. But, you know, we're still waiting on verification from TikTok. Still got to iron a couple other things out, especially with marketing, but definitely going to be interesting. I'm going to use the restroom real quick while this is downloading these packages, and then I'll be back in just a second. How are we doing? This still downloading? Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab an apple. I use Postgres. Create viral clips. Let's go, Gato. Alright, so it does look like this is working. least going on to the next step. It said vowel clips. All right, come on. Come on. Looks like we're past the error that we were having in Ricky. So we're on to the next error. Checking for, all right, requested clip count. Okay, let's see here. Is this still running? Yeah, still running. We have a job that's, okay guys, we have a job that's running for more than 60 seconds. This is, I repeat, a breakthrough. The job has not failed immediately. Ah, okay. All right, so stack trace, video download failed, output file missing. That's actually good. We got past, you know, what we were running into. Review this now and fix this error. First, identify what's causing it, and then create a plan on what you will do to update and fix it. All right, so we made it past some brutal errors, but which AI model have you found yourself using the most in the past 84 days and in the past week? Well, you know what's funny is, well, the past 84 days, we've seen so many new models, and you know, I think a lot of people, they're like, hey, you know, what model's the best? You know, XYZ, what's the best? And there's no model that's really the best. There's models that are good at different reasons, but yeah, it seems like it's almost there. We'll see. This error is a video download failed. So the video ingestion service, so to download the video, it's failing to download the video. View this plan with current arguments. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I use Postgres with AWS. Yeah. Danny, well said. Danny said that most models make code. Every model has a niche set of niches, kind of like every car drives, but some perform well in certain situations, 100%. And that's the importance of just you know, showing up every day and making progress, is that you do get a feel for the models. You get an understanding of which ones you should use, when you should change, all these different things. Wait, somebody said Claude Opus 4.5 just released? There's no way. Hold up. Hold up. Alright, either somebody's trolling or this is huge. Hold up here. Oh, shoot. Oh, wow. All right, guys, we have news. Guys, chat, we have news. Oh, shoot. Chat. Chat. W's in the chat. We have a new model, guys. W's in the chat. We're standing up. W's in the chat. All right, introducing Claude Opus 4.5. Oh, my gosh. Oh my gosh, W's in the chat. W's in the chat. All right, our newest model, Claude Opus 4.5, is available today. It's intelligent, efficient, and the best model in the world for coding, agents, and computer use. It's also meaningful, better at everyday tasks like deep research and working with slides and spreadsheets. Opus 4.1 is a step forward in what AI systems can do and a preview of larger changes to how work gets done. Opus 4.5 is a state-of-the-art on tests of real-world software engineering. Oh my gosh. Oh, shoot. All right. Wow. So 80.9%. Shoot. All right. Well, guys, we are going to have to, we're going to have to start another stream, guys. We're going to have to start a stream vibe coding with Claude 4.5. How much is it? Oh my gosh. It rips apart everything. Look at this. 59.3%. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. All right, guys. I gotta start a new stream because we're about to start vibe coding with Opus here. Wow. All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna start a new stream vibe coding with Claude Opus 4.5. I'll see you guys. I'll drop the link. If you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. This model literally just came out, so I'm gonna start a new stream where we're gonna be testing this out, vibe coding with Claude Opus 4.5. If you guys like the music, here's the playlist. But yeah, I'm gonna start a new stream, guys. So I'm gonna drop a new link, but we're gonna try out this model, and what's great is that we're gonna be able to actually try it out with this clipping agent. So with that being said, guys, it's now available in the desktop app. Is it only? Wait, hold up. Before I end the stream, is it only available in the desktop app? Because if it's only available in the desktop app, then I can't vibe code with it. Hold up here. Let's go to X. Claude. Hold on, before I tank the stream. On our API. No, it's in the API. It's on our API. So I'm assuming that cursor we'll be able to release it. It's in cursor. Okay. All right, guys. We're gonna use this. Oh shoot. All right. I'll be right back, guys. All right. All right. I'm gonna start a new stream. I'll see you.